Did you get sucked into that $99 deal from Walmart for the PartyCade? More or less, did you get sucked into hanging that thing from the ceiling? Well, if you did, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to go from that marquee to this new improved marquee. Alright, so today we're going to be installing a custom marquee for anybody that ordered one of these old versions of Miss Pac-Man, the PartyCade from the Walmart deal that they had for $99. Now that was a pretty good deal, but the only thing with that, it was an older version and it didn't come with a light up marquee. So I found one of these light up marquees that comes from the Arcade Game Factory. Now the problem with this is I kind of went out on a limb because they don't really show you when you pick their option. It just shows you Pac-Man. It doesn't show you, like, if you pick Centipede or any one of these other ones, Miss Pac-Man, it doesn't show you what you're getting. So I kind of went out on a limb on this, and I saw the reviews online. They had pretty good reviews. The problem with their website is everything is custom made, and they'll tell you before you order that it's going to take a while, and don't bug them. So I didn't bug them. I let them do what they had to do, and it finally showed up. So let's get the box open and see what we got. All right, so here it is. It's wrapped up, and this is what you're gonna get for around, I want to say it was like $50 something with tax and shipping. Shipping's not free. It's going to come United States Postal Service, which is kind of scary for me because out here in Chicago, they don't deliver the mail. So I was surprised it actually showed up. But I would have to say that is nice. I mean, that is really nice. And it looks really, really well put together. It has like fabric on the side to prevent light bleed. And you can see the original to theirs. And it actually has the original Midway Ballet company on there. That's pretty cool. So let's see what else it comes with. There. So it looks like it comes with the cable, the wiring cable. Other connectors, more connectors, instructions, and this must be the light bar. I'm assuming, yeah, that's the light bar. So obviously the first thing we got to do is we got to get this thing off the pole. So let's get this off the pole. We'll get it on the bench and let's see what this entails. Tell you right off the bat, this thing didn't come with instructions, and the instructions that you have to get are from the website. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, these instructions just suck. I mean, they don't really tell you anything. It just tells you, number one, remove your old marquee. It doesn't tell you how to remove your old marquee. You just have to figure that out for yourself. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to have to experiment with this thing, and I'll be your guinea pig. So if I screw up my machine, at least it's not going to be your machine. So far what I did was I took off the back plate, and then I released the 3 screws from the side. Now, when you release those 3 screws from the side, what's going to happen is your wall mount board is going to pop out. So from there, give me a second. Let me see what else we got to release, and we'll just go through this step by step, and I'll just take you all the way through. All right, so next what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take these 4 screws. There's 2 here, there's 2 on the other side. Now, once you do that, you're going to be able to push this enough away so you could release the old marquee is what's going to happen. And you need to be able to push this so you can get these wooden dowels out of here. And this should just release it. All right, so next what they're telling you is to transfer the lower piece of wood from your existing marquee to the new marquee using the 3 provided screws. So the old marquee piece of wood was right here. There are 3 screws in it, and you're just going to pull that off and you're going to transfer it to your new marquee. What they're going to tell you to do next is to locate the power button on the PCB board. Now, they tell you to actually remove this whole entire board out of there, but that just seems way too excessive for me. So if you have yourself one of these little mirrors right here, you could see where the power board is. Now, the power board, if you're facing the back of this thing, is going to be on the left-hand side. It's this very corner one. Now, the problem is this thing is super glued, and you could see all the glue. So what I had to do is I had to use a heat gun to heat that up just to pull that out of there. And if you look at that, I mean, that's just a mess. Now, I don't understand why they did it the way they did, but what they're telling you is that you need to pull that power cable out of there, and then you're going to put this jumper in here. And then once you put that jumper in there, then you're going to use their custom cable right here to hook this whole marquee up. Now, I don't understand why they just didn't make a cable that would connect directly into the back of this for the light. Now, there must be some kind of method to their madness. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure somebody will chime in on the comments and let me know what it is and why they did it the way they did. But right now, I'm just being ignorant. So basically, that's what you got to do. I find that there is no reason to pull this whole board out like they're asking you to. I guess it would make it a little bit easier for you to locate the power cable and to actually do the work. But if you, like I said, if you have a heat gun, just be very careful, heat that glue up so you could pull this out, and then you could put this jumper in that they're telling you to put in. And then at that point, you could take it from there. All right, so just to give you an idea of what I was actually talking about, so they tell you in step 3 to follow the instructions in the light harness. Now, all this stuff I'll put in links in the description of how to do it step by step on their website. So they tell you to remove the control panel, which I find that that's very excessive. I mean, you got to take this whole thing apart just to do that. So if you just use a mirror, you'd be able to see it quicker. And I think it's funny how they show there's no glue on there. I mean, come on, there's no glue on any of these. And I guess maybe it depends on what kind of arcade PartyCade you get. Maybe this is an older model, because the connector is a lot different from what is down on this Miss Pac-Man. It's actually off to the left. So they're telling you that once you pull that out, they tell you to plug in the connector with the short loop that they supplied you, which looks just like this. So you just plug that in, and then from there they tell you to connect the new cable assembly into the power port on the interface board, which is the one you just unplugged, and then you're going to plug this one in, and then you're going to have this just hanging there. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that, and we'll take it from there. So next, what they're telling you is that you are going to the original power supply that you pulled out of that PCB board. You're going to connect it to that contraption that they have here, and once you connect it to that, then what you're going to do is it comes with this this Y connector. You're going to connect it to one end of the Y connector, and that is going to be the connector for your light marquee and for your CPU board. Now, the CPU board, you're going to unplug this right here. That's your power supply. That power supply is directly going to be plugged into the other side of this female connector right here. I don't know, it seems excessive for me. I'm not getting it. I don't understand why they just didn't use a connector for that and bring it straight up there. Like I said, I'm ignorant. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to hear about it. Somebody's going to troll me. Somebody's going to say something in the comments. But like I said, it's just ignorance. I'm not understanding. Maybe somebody... So let's recap. So that Y connector that you have, okay, is going to plug in the female right here. It's going to plug into the main power source that originally was up at your CPU board, okay? You're going to make sure that you pulled that original power connector out of this PCB board and put in this jumper. That original connector is going to connect right here into this Y contraption that you have here. Now, you're going to have a Y plug that's going to be the main power that's going to connect up to here. One of these is going to go to your light source for your marquee that's going to be right here, and the other is going to go into the CPU board. Now, after looking at the lighting, it all makes sense to me now. It's rated at 12 volts DC. Now, I'm assuming that this lighting port that's up here is probably not going to give you 12 volts DC. It's probably a lesser voltage, and that's probably why they have done it the way that they have. And this thing probably throws out a hell of a lot more light than what the original marquees that Arcade1up gives you. We're going to find out and see how bright this thing is. So for now, let's get it all back together and test it. All right, so one other thing I do want to mention before you get this thing all put back together. If you did follow my other video tutorial on how to hang this thing from the ceiling, one of the most important things that you're going to need to do is, before you put this back together, is make sure that you put some kind of way to protect this wire that you just installed away from the two holes that are drilled into the bottom for that L bracket. And then obviously you're going to want to do some wire management. Make sure you zip tie this back on, maybe do something so you can keep this from just hanging in there. So just an important tip, just make sure if you followed that tutorial about the ceiling hanging, that you want to make sure that there are no wires where these two holes are going to be drilled through the bottom, because the last thing you want to do is screw through some wires. All right, so just before we close this thing back up, what they don't tell you in their online instructions is that you're going to have to drill a hole in this backer plate right here in order to get the wire through, because without a hole there's no way to get the wire through. So you're going to use a 5/8 drill bit, and you'll just drill right through here in the corner, and the light itself is going to adhere to this top plate up here. Now, I do see some problems with this design. There will be light bleed right here from the back. And not only that, since this is going on a pole mount and not a wall mount, there will be light bleed from these holes. But whatever, we'll see how it is. And they tell you to put the light 4 inches from the back. I just put mine straight in the middle, and we're gonna hope for the best. So let's get this backboard back on. We'll get it back on the pole and we'll see how it looks. There's one other thing that I did forget to mention. The only way and the only thing that is holding this marquee on are these 2 wood screws that come with the kit. Now, you don't want to over tighten these wood screws because it is MDF, and you'll strip the wood out. Well, fake wood, whatever. But that is the only thing that is holding this on there. It's just those 2 screws. So just make sure you don't over tighten. You don't want to strip that out. Just wanted to mention that, and I totally forgot to say that. Okay, so we got it back up on the pole. It's all lit up. This is the finished product. Obviously, to you, it's going to look like crap because all you're going to see is white light. You're not going to see the vivid colors that I'm seeing with my eye, and the camera's just picking up a white blurry mess. But it is a very nice marquee, I have to tell you. Now, there are some areas of concern with this marquee. There is light bleed from the back bottom right here, and that's because the light is actually shining down through this acrylic protector there, and it's kind of like bringing the light down through that, which is not bad, because if you turn off the lights, it kind of lights this up, this area right here, which is kind of cool. I like that. It's not too bad. The top, like I stated before, you have light bleed up here, and then obviously in the back, because we're hanging it from a pole, there's light bleed back there. But that's not their fault. That's our fault for hanging it from the ceiling. That can be fixed with electrical tape. Other than that, all in all, out of 10 stars, I would probably give it an 8, only because of the poor instructions. I mean, they do give you instructions, but they don't tell you step by step what to do and how to do it. So would I buy it again if I had another party arcade down here? Or should I say if I had room for another party arcade? Yeah, definitely yes, I would. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.